Okay, so welcome to Branding Blocks for Profitable Businesses. I'm really excited. This is meant to be informative. It's meant to be educational, and my hope is that it will be easy to take home and to do something about it in terms of your business. Um, I will stop for questions so that way we don't break up the flow, and then I'll try to do it like per like topic so that way it makes sense in the order. And if there's anything that you ever like anything that you want to just say, you could put it into the chat. Before we get started, just with if you want to just raise your hand or put up like an emoji, um, has anyone here ever gone through the branding process? Alana? Okay, great. And Donnie. Okay, amazing. And Minky, I'm sure you did too. Okay. Um, so the goal of this class is really the basics of branding. There's always what to refine and to um, reach higher and go further and deeper. This is for the basics. When you're like you got your footing there and you know that you have something going, this is what you should keep in mind. So I want everyone to take a minute and to close their eyes and imagine yourself in a year from today. Imagine the setting, imagine the location. Where are you? It could be a country, it could be a landmark, it could be anything. What are you smelling? What are you feeling? What are you seeing? And let it wash over you. Let go, open your hands, release your muscles, and just like imagine it. Smell, touch, feel what's going on in your mind. And now for a second, you're going to start hearing a little chattering from wherever you're standing or sitting or lying down. And you hear two people talking. And your company's name is being like mentioned, and you like start to inch forward and you're like, I wonder what they're saying. And you hear this conversation between two people. You could imagine what those two people look like: male, female, tall, skinny, short, fat, husky, polished, professional, pain, confident, and they're talking about your business. And what I want you to imagine is, what are the words that they are saying? How are they describing you? How are they describing your services or your products? And now if you could open up your eyes, and now you can put it into the chat if you'd like, and you can say the adjectives that were coming up for you. Anything that hit any of your five senses. And then ask yourself, is that what I want my business to be known for? Empathetic, smart, passionate, empathetic. Now, if you were able to put those words into the mouths of those two people speaking, what words would those be? And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you on that journey to be able to do just that, to take your vision for the future and what you want people to say about you and to put that into practice. How do you do that? And so I'm going to share my screen. Um, okay. here we go. So we're going to talk about what is branding and what is it not, the goals of branding, how branding will impact your sales, and then what branding basics are. There's the why, there's the who, there's the what, and there's the how. And then we'll talk about what do you do with all that stuff? What's your next step? So what is branding? So I'm going to just for a second just say that people say what is a brand and what is branding? Branding is the action part of it, of creating the brand, but branding is the perception of your business in the mind of your customer. When you were wherever you were overhearing what people said. Whatever they said about you, that is your branding. Not what you think it is, not what you want it to be, but whatever they perceive it to be. And Walter Lander was a brand designer who said this. And we have to realize that we can only influence the perception of your business in the mind of your customer. We cannot actually make them perceive you a certain way. We can influence it. And the actions that we take are what creates that perception. So why should someone invest in branding? Why do we care how we're perceived in the mind of our customer? So the goals that we have for branding are we set expectations in their minds. Are they going to find, like some people mention, a loving environment? Are they going to find a professional environment? Are they going to come to expect quality? Are they going to get the needs that they want from your brand? So the branding, when we try to influence the perception of your brand, we are setting expectations. We are also gaining recognition in certain people's eyes. We are gaining trust. We are gaining loyalty. We are also forming emotional connections, relationships. And we're also differentiating ourselves from the people around us that do similar things than we do. And all of that is going to affect your bottom line and your business growth. So when we say, why should I invest in branding? This is why. Because we all want this for our business. We all want that at the end of the day, we should make more sales. So if we reiterate that and say, how does branding impact sales? We can see that there's a direct and indirect impact. I'm actually going to show you like this. If we're going to start from the end where it says more sales. In order to have more sales, you need to see high conversions. In order to have high conversions, you need to establish trust between you and the people that are going to buy from you. In order for people to trust you, you got to build a relationship with them, because they're not going to trust you if they don't know who you are. And in order to build relationships, you first got to know people. If you know people, you got to know the right people. You need those people to perceive you properly. And by them, the people that are going to perceive you properly are going to they're going to have to always think about you. You're going to have to be on top of their mind. And the only way to do that is to have effective branding and a strategy that's going to influence that. So I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about that. When we want to have sales, we have to realize that we are talking to people. We're providing a solution to their needs. So how do we get them to buy from us? By telling them that we're the right fit for you. We're the ones that can help you the most. And by going through the strategy of branding, we see how we can cater to those people and say, okay, fine, you need eco-friendly cleaning supplies. I provide that, and I'm going to tell you that. And how do you know you can trust me? And that's the process to get the person to say, you know what, I'm going to buy this product. I'm going to buy this service. There's also, when you have an effective branding strategy in place, you don't only just tell people, I have the product or the service that you need. but you also go a little deeper, and there's a subconscious relationship that you're going to be developing with your customers. You're going to connect emotionally with them. Before anyone goes into a branding strategy or to do any brandings, there are prerequisites that you have to know. No one really knows who said this, and I'm not going to even pretend I know how to pronounce this guy's name, but a goal without a plan is just a wish. So before we get started into branding, you need to set your goals. What kind of business are you aiming to create? Do you want to sell really high level packages at $1 million a year to 2 people? Or do you want to sell $10 packages to 1 million people a year? Do you want to be an agency? Do you want to be a boutique brand, or, a 2-man show, a 1-man show? Do you want your business to be internationally known? Do you want it to be regional? You are going to define for yourself your goals and what success means to you, because the way to get there is going to change based on what your goals are. So before you go through anything, you have to know, how much money do I want to make? What kind of lifestyle do I want? Do I want to hustle? Do I not want to hustle? We all have to work. We all have to put in that effort, but at what level? So before I go into the actual strategy, I just want to take a break here. And if anyone has any questions, you could put them in the chat or unmute yourself. So far, so good? Okay, perfect. Not sure. Did I just unshare my screen? No? Okay, cool. Okay, so why? When you go into business, you are going to ask yourself, why? Why don't we just sit on the couch and read a book? Why are we doing this? The fancy words for it are your mission, your vision, and your core values. You don't have to care about what they're officially called. You can skip that, but that's what they're called. So I am going to, I'm not sure what I just did. Okay, here. Your mission and your vision is your North Star. It's propelling you. Where are you going? What's your inner goal? What's your purpose in being business? A lot, and I struggled with this personally for a lot. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to make money. Like, I really don't know why I'm doing this. I want to go be a teacher. Like, I don't know. And I found that asking yourself the certain questions, like what gives you that inner satisfaction, that if money didn't exist, what would make you so happy? What would make you feel like, I'm so happy to be doing this for people. It took me a long time to really figure it out, but don't get stuck on it either. What I would recommend is just telling yourself, just write it down, like you care about people. And then every so often go in and ask yourself more, like I care about people. Okay, fine. So what do you actually care about? You care that they're going to have food on their table? Like, what is it that you're caring about? And the more you refine it, and that goes with everything in branding, the deeper and the more established, the deeper the connections you're going to make with your customers. And the reason why this is important is because people end up connecting to whatever you're connecting, whatever you're putting out there. So if you care, and I'll tell you what my mission and vision is. My mission and vision is to have every business owner should have the clarity, the confidence to build a business that's profitable, that they want. And that's my goal here today, is that I want to give you the enough education and the processes and the understanding of what it means to take. I want you to walk away with clarity. And if that's something that resonates with you, you'll end up connecting to my brand. I am, okay, I'm not sure what happened to my Zoom. Okay, we'll figure this out. Okay. Now, core values. Now that you know why you do what you do and what's in it, like beyond the money, what's important to you in the way you operate? What makes you want to deliver or make your product a certain way or your service a certain way? What like define those and make yourself a list. What do you care about? Do you care that the earth should be clean? Like someone maybe let's say Rivka, you're like into like a health, you want people to have clean eating. Why? What is it that you care about? You want people to be healthy, you want people to be able to give to their families. Those you distill any values, and it doesn't have to only be 3 to 5. It could be more, but those are usually like within the range of things because it's just easier to, focus on a few. And again, people will connect deeper when they value the same things as your brand, and the deeper the connection, the deeper the loyalty.
But you stopped sharing. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting. You stopped
Oh,
sharing. Yeah, sorry.
okay. So then I'm gonna go. I was like, something happened to my Zoom, and I was like, okay. So I'm gonna go back to just this is the core value. So the first thing we start out is your mission, your vision. What do you hope to accomplish in the world? Why are you in business? We have your core values, what is meaningful to you as you operate your business. Now we're going to move on to who. Who do you do business for? So before we just get there, if anyone has any questions, you can speak up. Any questions on mission, vision, and core values? That's it. I'm not even seeing where I see the chat. So forgive me if I don't see something. You can just unmute yourself. Okay. So now who? There's two parts that we take into consideration. There's their target audience, which is the general population. Who needs you? What type of people need you? So you are let's just Chelsea, right? You do homeopathy. So who needs you? Who are the type of people that would need your services? And then those are the people that you could work with. And your ideal client is the person that you want to work with. So I'll talk about ideal client in a second. Let's just focus on the target audience. Let's think generally speaking. Who are the types of people? How old are they? Are they male or female? Where do they live? What's their income level? Those are their demographics. Their psychographics. What kind of values do they have? What are their hobbies? Do they like to sit at the beach and work? Do they like to go hiking? Are they adventurous? What are their behaviors like? Are they the type to binge scrolling LinkedIn or Instagram? Or what do you know? As much as you know, the more the merrier. You want to know what's bothering them on a daily basis. Like, why would they need homeopathy? Are they taking medicines that are just not working? What is it that's going on inside of them? There's ways to research your target audience. You can visit, you can Google and find reviews, visit any similar competitor or someone similar to you. Look at what people are saying on their sites. So if let's say you know someone who's a coach and they do something similar than you and they have a website, what do their testimonials say? Pick out those words. What vibe are they giving off? Find out. You can also survey your own people, your own clients. Hey, would you like to and you could create questions and ask them why did you come to me? That's all part of your research on your target audience. And ask yourself, where can these people be found? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they not online? Maybe they're people you have to meet at a festival. where are these people? And once you have a general idea of who your target audience is, then you want to create for yourself 3 different personas. They're called your ideal client. This is the perfect person that you want to work with. So you would create a fictional character and you would say, okay, Lucy has blonde hair. I don't know why Lucy's have to have blonde hair. Not sure why. Lucy has blonde hair. She's skinny. She's put together and she loves to dance. She is someone, and you can literally create this character in your mind as if you're telling someone a bedtime story, a little kid a bedtime story, and you just fabricate this whole story based off of this one person. You give a name, you tell them what they do every day. The more you know, the merrier. The reason why I keep saying the more the merrier is because when you know more, then you are able to find them in their journey to finding you. You can meet them and say, oh, they go to the beach. Let me advertise at the beach. Oh, they go to dance festivals. Let me be a sponsor at a dance festival. I want them to see me where they are. So keep that in mind. So the more you know, the merrier. And you want to know, why does this person need your services? Pain points. Pain points are what is bothering this person. Why do they need you? Understand it. Understand why they can't go on in their life without your service. Now, each persona that you create, so you can have someone a little bit older, a little bit younger, a little bit more hip, a little, depending on who you're targeting, your target audience, each persona is an opportunity for you to say, okay, now I'm going to market to this specific persona, and you are going to make your messaging and anything you're going to show up in front of them, anything you're going to tell them is going to be that much more specific. So you don't want to, you always want to become less general and more specific. So if you're talking to a man or you're talking to a woman, it's going to be slightly different. So you can target both, but you want to have a persona for each. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? Any questions so far? Nope. Okay. Am I still sharing my screen? Okay. Now, this is where I don't know. Every time I look at the chat, I'm not sure what happens to my screen. So I am going to, oh, here. Okay. So we spoke about the why. Why are we in business? What's our vision for the future? Like, where do we see this going? We spoke about who are we in business for? Who needs us? We spoke about the general population that needs us. We spoke about the specific person that needs us. And now we're going to discuss what. These are all the fancy words. Your positioning, your messaging, your competitive analysis, USP, ESP, UVP. You don't have to worry about those. You can just let them fly out the window. They're there just because if you ever hear them, you'll be like, yeah, I know all about it. But these are the official jargon words, and we're going to just say it in like the regular good words. Elmer Wheeler said, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Okay, who's in the mood of a steak? You automatically, the word sizzle, you see the like oil already. Like you'd like, okay, this needs a degrease. You like smell your steak already. You like are cutting it with that like steak knife. When you're in business, we all know this from ourselves, is that we don't only want the steak, because I can serve you a cold steak and you'll be like, gross. And this actually just happened to me this past week. I have a shul, a synagogue in my basement, and they were serving cholent. Cholent is like a hot stew, and I was not ready to eat yet. And but everyone was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. So I'm like, okay, fine, save it for me. And I put it aside. And then I came and it was cold, and I tried to really like it, but it was really gross. And everyone was like, it was so good. So you're not just selling the steak. You're not just selling the food that's going to be healthy for their body. You're not just selling, the benefits of working with you. You're selling more. You're selling something deeper. So we are going to discuss this at overall. UVP, unique value proposition. If you want, you can hang on to those words. You don't have to. Your main message across all your marketing is going to be, what do you sell, to who, and what is the main value or benefit to them? So, Minky, you sell branding services, right? Now that could be to healthcare owners, that could be to startup businesses. And what does that do for them? How does it help them? Beyond just that you give them a brand strategy. It's like okay, fine, great. You give them a logo. So now they can use their logo on their website. There's more to it. They're proud of their company. People are perceiving them a certain way. You are giving them the value of owning their business, of like, I can market my business. I'm trying to think of like everyone who's here, like if I can give an example, but feel free to like chime in if you want to say like, what is the value beyond that? Chelsea, you're not just giving homeopathic cures, you're giving them more, you're giving them hope that their challenges are going to go away. Whatever they're dealing with could go away. So when we want to know what it is, besides for what we can say, okay, fine. I personally, I sell branding services, right? So I want every business owner to have clarity and confidence to build their brand. So I'm selling the clarity and the confidence, the peace of mind, the vision. That's the vision that I'm selling. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a competitive analysis. So there's actually a template which I will I am going to put this into the chat. Give me a second. I'm going to put this right here and you guys could use that. A competitive analysis, the goal of it is to find the opportunities for you and that you shouldn't be copying somebody else or doing something that someone else is already doing, because when you don't differentiate yourself, then people just don't know why they should come to you. So, and we want to see like what is out there already. So we have two different types of competitors. There's direct competitors and there's indirect competitors. Direct competitors are, if you're a coach, is another coach who does that. Indirect competitors are possibly online reviews. I had a client who was a barber, and at that time he was like, I don't have any competitors. I was like, the dad or the mom who gives haircuts to their kids is your indirect competitor. So it's not only who it is, it's anyone that can accomplish the same goal as your service or product. You're going to look at these people and you're going to say, what is their marketing like? What is their social media like? What is their visuals like? What price point are they at? Are you guys all asking for copy? Okay, 1 second. I am going to share. I'm not sure why that came up like that. And share. Okay. You're going to ask yourself what makes them unique, what makes you unique, but you're going to do this for each person. So I'm actually going to, for just a second, I'm going to share this this template here. And you can see here that you're going to have your competitors and you're going to ask yourself, you're going to write in a little bit about each person. Where do they show up for their audience on social media? Are they only have a website? Are they only on Facebook? And write everything that you know about them, their target audience, their customer base. What do they pride themselves in? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What's their price point? What are they known for? How well do people know them? And so on. When you fill that out, that's a lot of magic starts to happen. A lot of magic. Like I had done this with a client, and all of a sudden it started making sense. Like, oh wow, like everybody's either premium or really low. And I want to be in between and a little bit more to the premium. Or no one really has good customer service, and I'm giving that customer service. So that's where all the magic begins to happen. And then there's one thing that you really want to consider is like, is there something that no one is thinking of, neither myself or my competitors? Like, is there something in the market that needs to be addressed? And that's something that maybe you can take on. So that's your competitive analysis. Now, where do you fit in the market? Once you know all your competitors and you know where they are, their price point, and what they offer, and how do you compare to them? What are you competing on? Price, quality, branding, sorry, your benefits, and your branding is going to reflect that. So if you, and I'm going to show you this, right? If you have 4 competitors, competitor 2 is a little high priced and too low of a quality. Another competitor is high quality but a little bit low price, and you're going to find where you are in comparison to them. And then you're going to make sure that when you create your visual, anything that you're putting out and your messaging, you're going to reflect your right position in the market. So Seth Godin said, in a crowded marketplace, fitting in is failing. In a busy marketplace, not standing out is the same as being invisible. Okay. Moving on to what makes you unique. So you already have, you know who you sell to, you know the perfect person that you want to work with. You know what the services you offer to who you offer and what the value and the benefit is to them. Now, what's something unique about you did your competitive analysis, you know your position in the market. What is something that is unique just to you that your competitors are not offering or are not as good at? What can you pride yourself in? Go back to that scenario where we started out. You're somewhere a year from now and you're doing something and you overhear these 2 people. What are they saying that's so special? Oh my gosh, you better work with so-and-so because what are they filling in the blank? What makes you special, unique, different, or the go-to in your industry? Now, this is a drop deeper. When we said sell the sizzle, not the steak, we also want to know, how does your product or your service make people feel? What emotion is causing that person to buy? Let's say, for example, in the fashion industry, people want to fit in, they want to belong. They feel out of place if they don't own a certain fill in the blank. What status are they longing for? What's inside of them? If it's, if someone's going for, I know that Chelsea once mentioned hair loss. Are they someone that just wants to like be able to iron their hair, but they can't because they have hair loss? Like, understand what that deep-seated emotion. Do they feel funny when they go to a party and like everyone has like gorgeous hair and they don't? What is that? And when you hone in on what emotions are causing them to sell, you create a deeper connection. Not just like, oh, we're going to help you get your hair back. We're going to make you feel beautiful. We're going to make you feel like you you just like are like everybody else. So the deeper you go, the deeper the connection will be with your customers, which creates loyalty. Now, I want to pause for a second and say that this could feel overwhelming as we're going through the presentation. Like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. It's okay to be surface level. You can be very surface level. And then in a little bit of time from now, you'll go back and you'll say, you know what? I started seeing this more, and you'll hone in and refine your brand strategy. You'll refine all of these points that we're saying. You'll do a better competitor analysis. You'll understand the emotions of your clients even more. And it's okay to start with 1. And then in 2 months from now, you'll be at 2, and you'll get yourself to a 10. But start out with whatever you do know, and don't get overwhelmed by like, oh, but like, is that really considered like a desire or status? It's fine. Just write it down. And that way you can build upon whatever you have. Any questions on that, on the what?
Yeah, quick question.
Sure.
Okay, so let's say I do mostly plant-based, right? I don't know if you know that, but it's not something that that like, let's say the frum world is kind of scared of. So if I wanted it, originally I started with that because that's my unique niche in getting people to their, to where they can go faster, right? Something that I believe in, but it's scary to the frum world. So if I kind of put it out there, like, this is how I am unique, it might repel. Now, it might attract to my perfect client, and then maybe I don't have to, maybe that's a mind, like a block that I'm, you know what I mean, an internal block as opposed to, so I'm just curious about that.
If the first thing that every business has to know is if you're viable. Are there people that will buy your service? Because you may not know about everybody out there that will want that, but once you start talking, and you'll have to do a lot more education if it's not as well known. But there are people, as long as there are people out there that want your service, which is why you're in business, then there's someone to talk to.
They don't care, not they don't care. They want to lose weight and get healthy, right? That's really what they want. The how, right? The how is in my approach is plant-based, but I just don't know if that should be that's part of my how. That's one of the hows, right? There's a lot of other stuff also, but I'm just wondering if that's something that should be, that does make me unique.
Okay, you can say that. You can definitely say that, and people will be like, that's interesting. I don't know anything about it. But if you're constantly marketing and you're putting out content that's educational, eventually people will get over that. But if that's what makes you unique, stick with it. It's great. There's probably not too many people that you're competing with. Broadcast.
No. Right. Okay. I'm just okay. Just an interest, because I don't want to, because it could push people away.
But then you're pushing away the people that are not interested, but pulling away the people that are interested. Now, again, this is very like general. So like, don't take this now and like, okay, this is what it is. You can definitely ask me afterwards, but in a general sense, it's like when people unsubscribe from your email list, it's like, yay, great. So fine. They're not interested. And the people who are interested stay on. So you're pushing away the people that you're not here. You're not here to like service everyone. You're only here to service people that want that. And then there are people who will be curious and then, I really wonder a lot about that. And then you'll educate and they'll be like, wow, like I really didn't know about that. I really didn't know about that. I really didn't know about that. And then eventually it can lead, but you'll be known as the plant-based health person. And
Right.
that's what
No,
will
right.
set
Okay.
you apart.
I would have to
Any-
educate them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any
Yeah.
other questions? Donnie.
Hi. So in the type of coaching that I do, I work specifically with midlife women on their issues. And in the world of women in coaching, where it's not specific to health or something else, there are a lot of celebrity coaches that people follow. And I feel like they are my competition
Your indirect competitor, probably.
Yeah, because they're following these people, trying to learn from them and not signing up for actual coaching in an affordable, you know. So when I do that comparative analysis, I don't feel like I'm competing with local coaches like me. I feel like like I'm competing with the celebrity coaches. So
So
what do you,
that would be very powerful to do that analysis and then hone in, and your marketing can really hone in on how you're different from that.
right. Okay. Right. Like they follow them and they want the change, but until they actually sign up with me, they're not going to get that change.
So it's possible that, like, really talking a lot about your success
Yeah.
and, let's say, statistics of, or not even people who work with you, if you could find statistics that prove that working with a personal coach one-on-one as opposed to following someone gets real results, that could help your people like realize, like, okay, it's really nice, but it's not going to help.
Right. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the how. So now we understand what we're building. We have our mission, we have our vision, we know what we want to create in the intellect of our mind. We know who we're targeting, the perfect person we want to target. We know who our competitors are. We know who it is that we need to be aware of and to realize that, like, am I really different than these people? Where do I stand? And then we know what makes us unique. We know our market position, we know what makes us unique, and we know that we go further, and we even know the emotions that are causing people to buy this product or service. And from us, what is it that's making people just say, okay, I'm going to swipe? So we know all of that information. So now, how do we express that and get people to actually know about us and get there? So the second step is the marketing, but the first step is how. We want to understand how we can come across to the right people. We know that to build relationships and to build the trust and the credibility that we need in the eyes of our target market, our target audience, are the people that we really want to work with, we need to be human to them. We need to imagine ourselves as if we were a person, our brand. So if you're a coach, it's easier because people are working with, like, you. If you're a service-based business, it's you pretend that you are a person. And we express ourselves and we communicate and we show up and we get dressed, so to speak, in the way that we think is going to influence their perception of us. Back to what branding is all about. So we have a great message. We can help you, and we know all the values and the benefits. I can give you clarity and confidence, but now how do I get you to trust me to give you that benefit? So I want you to see me as that person, literally see me. So how? How does your audience relate to you? Think of yourself as a person. You go to the party, like every party has a pooper. Why were you invited to the party? What is it that you bring to the table? Are you their hero? You save the day? Are you the person that's the nurturer, that you care about everyone and you listen to everyone? Do you give people an adventure? Are you that person that walks into the room and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a rocking night? Are you going to offer them companionship? Hey, let's go out for coffee tomorrow. Are you going to give them advice? Are you going to educate them? How do you relate to your audience? What do they see you as? And would you describe them? Are they spunky? Are they very corporate and stiff person? Are they very personable? Are they friendly? What's their personality like? If you had to describe your brand to somebody else, you would say, oh my gosh, Alana is so much fun to be around. She makes everybody laugh. You feel like so great around her. She's just like so full of life. True or not true? You define what is your personality like. And once you know what your personality is, you want to know, so how do you talk? I know that you're full of life. I know that you're so much fun and you make everybody laugh. Do you have black humor? Are you corny? How is it? What is your communication style? And here is, it's called a slider, a personality slider. Are you very formal? Are you very casual? And you want to like start understanding on your own. You want to start seeing like, how humorous are you? How serious are you? And I just put those, like the sliders, I just made them up. But you can say like, I have a very respectful tone when I talk about people. Or we know like stand-up comedians are probably like, you don't want your kids watching them because they probably say every word that you just like, shh, no, you're not allowed to talk like that. You want to know where you stand. How enthusiastic are your emails? Do you say, hey, 2 exclamation points, I missed you, how you doing? We haven't spoken in such a long time. Or your email's like, hi, Alana, comma, next paragraph. It's been a while since we last spoke. I'd love to catch up. How do you want to sound? And the truth is that how does your ideal client expect you to sound? And when you do your, if you were to be doing like target market, when you like, you want to look around and, you know, either look at your testimonials or you want to look at online at other people's, how does your target market talk online? Look at their social media. Do they use a lot of emojis? Do they use a lot of exclamation points, capitals? How proper are they? Do they use a lot of slang? That could give you a key like insight onto like how they like to be like spoken to. So we have your personality. We know what you sound like. Now, what do you look like? So if someone were to just be describing Alana as this fun, full of life of the party, makes everyone laugh. She's spunky and she has a very corny sense of humor. Obviously, guys, I'm making this all up. I don't know Alana well enough. But now what does she look like? Did she dye her hair red? Does she look like a clown? Like, what does this person look like? And that is your logo. You are the face of your brand. What do you look like? Do you look like a really premium brand? Do you look like a really fun and you know, exciting brand? Do you look like you know, a brand that's like hip? And think of your target audience. Think of your client persona, the people that the perfect person that you want to work with. What is attractive to them? What world do they live in? Do they have tattoos? Do they use every opportunity to go on vacation to some like exotic place? Are they looking, what are they all about? It should fit the picture. There are, you know, you can find online, like there's 12 different types of logos, there's 5 different types of logos, but there are different types of logos. Logos could be just words, it could be abbreviations, it could be an abstract picture, it could be like, you know, like McDonald's has the arches, it could be a combination. There are many different types of logos, and everything is going to revert back to what is the face of your brand? What are you trying to create? What do you have a mascot? Most people don't have a mascot. There's a reason. So there's a competent designer is going to be able to tell you which logo type. Most people go with something that's either abstract or not abstract. That's either an icon with words or just word. But there are different types of logos that are just a reflection of what's appropriate for your business. There are also 5 rules of a good logo. we want your logo to be simple. We want it to be memorable. Timeless, as in, I believe today's day and age, 5 years is timeless. That your logo should last you for the next 5 to 10 years. You shouldn't have to redo your logo. It should be versatile. It should be, you could be able to use it online, digital, print, in all sorts of ways, and it should be appropriate for your industry. So if the logo is the face of your brand, so now if you're walking into a party, the first thing you need to know is what type of party are you going to? Because if you're going to a black tie event, you are not going to be wearing your yellow skirt, and you are not going to be wearing your sandals. You're going to be wearing pumps, and you're going to be wearing a formal outfit. So knowing what is appropriate is understanding your market. Your market is your party. Which party are you attending? Colors. So you have a logo. And the way I personally design is everything is in black and white. And then I attach colors to it, because colors is all about the context. So, you know, people say the color psychology of things. So it was very interesting. I just read this somewhere. The color red could either be Valentine's and romance, or it could be evil and sinister. So we want to know there's different shades of colors. We have loud colors, you have muted colors, you have neon colors, you have pastel colors, you have warm colors, you have cold colors. And you want to have like about 3 to 6 colors overall, not in your logo. Your logo should be 1 to 2 colors, but overall that you use throughout your marketing materials that reflect your personality and your tone of voice. Are you that hero? Are you that nurturer? Who are you? How do you come across? Are you spunky, corporate? Those colors, and I'm going to show this to you. Each palette has a different vibe. You have the Pet Zen one that's like cutesy and friendly. You have like the purples, which is a little bit like more sophisticated. Then you have like the more neon, the I Fund Women one. And they each one, the greenish one is a little bit more corporate. Each color palette, each combination of colors gives over a different vibe, a different feeling, a different personality. And a competent designer will be able to use the colors appropriately to bring out the right message and the right vibe that you need. Fonts, which is typography. The same idea. Which fonts give over the vibes of your personality and tone of voice? Bold, delicate and thin, round, sharp, handwritten, distress. Again, look at these. You have all sorts of, you have your futuristic, you have the like elegant one, you have the handwriting one. Each one gives over a different feeling, a different vibe. You want yours to give over the vibe that you want it to express. It should reflect your personality. It should reflect your tone of voice. How do you sound? If you're going to be and I'm going to show this to you on all the other visual elements, the images that you use, the world you belong to. And I'm going to show you this. Like we have the black and white, you know, the fashion, the elite, the luxury, the premium type of vibe. You have the woman with her baby. She's just like in the nature, natural, just laid back and, you know, just like enjoying the outdoors. Or are you a little bit more like the guy with the, you know, the perspectives one with the sneakers, like the motorcycle guy with the tattoo? What kind of images do you show people about your brand? Which one talks? Do you have the illustrations, the style? Like it could be icons, it could be images, it could be illustrations, but they all should give over this similar vibe that is your personality and your tone of voice. So like straight up over here, the top left one with the woman, you know, wearing like those longer earrings and the, you know, paint strokes, if you want to call them. If I were to match that up with, you know, one of these fonts, I would probably put her with the milk bar. And if I were to match her up with these colors, I would probably match her up between the Pet Zen and the paw one, the purple yellow. Like, I would not put her with the green or the I Fund Women. And you see how it comes together to say the whole picture, to give like the whole story. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. Any questions on the house? I see I have 3 new messages. Oh, I see, Donnie, you put your logo there. Okay, you have a question.
Yeah, so I'm looking at all the images that you just shared, and you know, when I first started, I was really specific when I developed this logo or had it developed for me that I wanted it to be feminine. I wanted it to be about a woman breaking free. I wanted it to show heart and emotion and, you know, and then be connected to me. So I think I did all of that, but I'm not sure. And I get compliments all the time because I use it in my signature. I use it everywhere and I get compliments on it. I just don't know if it's an effective tool. You know what I mean?
So there's a way to like self-audit. And this is something that I actually had a very, you know, successful person ask me a question like this about their logo and what they were trying to rebrand. Ask yourself, does this resonate with the people that I'm targeting? That's the first question. If you feel that we're going to go back to the perception, because your brand is the perception in the mind of your customer. So if you were to overhear 2 of your clients talking about your brand, what would they be saying? And then think to yourself, like, is that what I want them to say? And if it's not what you want them to say, ask yourself, how far is it from what you want them to say? And though that's really where you find out if like you know about like, is it working or not working? Like you have to self-audit that, because I started out being like, I design logos. Oh my gosh, the logos are like the B end of like, that is what's gonna make you make money. And then you see people with horrible logos and you're like, wait, but they make money. Well, maybe they can make more. But but you always have to ask yourself and say like, wait, is there like, why do I need to invest in it? How far is it from getting me to where I need to go? Can I get to where I need to go with this? And it could be now it's working for you. And then maybe in a year from now, you're going to be like, that's not working anymore. But you always have to go back to your target audience and go back to what you're trying to do and ask yourself, is that adding up? Is there a gap? And how big is the gap? Okay. Anyone else? Rivka, you have a question.
Yeah, hi, thanks so much. So,
Sure.
So it used to be when I started, because I was like afraid to commit to that people would lose weight. Like I knew that they could, but I didn't want it to be about that. I wanted to be more like just about healthy eating, and healthy living. So that's really where my logo came in from there. Cutesy, whatever it is. But I've changed. So the question is like, how important is it to invest in that concept where I kind of have a brand name out there a little bit, but I don't know if it's, yeah, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This image to me doesn't sound like high-end luxury weight loss coach. I almost want to even change it business to like, instead of healthy living, healthy slimming or something, you know, where it could kind of be more with the new vibe that I'm trying to resonate with, you know?
It's an excellent question. It's really an excellent question. And it's a huge investment to starting from scratch. Forget about the money. It's also about like changing everything that you have. Like if you have like collateral, their website or anything, there's so much that goes into changing like different things. And it's not something to just be like, oh, I'll just change it because like it's better. Like it's going back to what with what I said to Donnie, like evaluating, like, are you attracting the right leads with this? Do you feel like you're attracting the right leads? Do you feel that it's a reflection of who you are? And when you have those answers and then you say, okay, it's not reflecting exactly my new direction. It's not fully where I want it to be. Can I tweak what I have? Because if people already recognize you with this, then
Yeah.
you also have a danger of, if you become a whole new thing, people get all confused, like, wait, where did you go? And they don't know who you are anymore. It's called your brand equity. So just all of a sudden changing, unless you're ready with a whole full marketing and you have a budget to like go all out there and like change everything over, I would say a wiser thing to do would be, is there something I can tweak in my logo that can resonate better with the message, that can resonate better with my audience? And try those things first. Is there a color you can nix? Is there a color you can sharpen? Is there a font you can change? Is there a font you can let go of? You changing your tagline and leaving your logo is also something that you can do. That's an idea that you can do. You don't have to like nix the whole entire thing all like from the get-go. And you can constantly like check in with yourself and say like, okay, is this getting like, what's the feedback that I'm getting? Because ultimately your visuals is a reflection of your messaging, of who you are, what's making you unique, what do you offer to the world that's valuable. So it's not just the visual. You have to always back it up with everything else. It comes together. Like you can still go to a wedding without a gown, but you can't go in I mean, maybe today you could go in jeans, but you used to not be able to go in jeans. Like you're not going with flip-flops, you know? And if you're going with like toeless shoes, you're going to make sure your nails are done. So
Right.
you can show up differently, but just know what that looks like and what message that's giving.
Okay, so just to circle back for a minute, healthy living is what I do. Also, it's mostly, you know, it's how I get to people to where they want to go. So it's not a bad thing to have vegetables on my logo, but it's not necessarily like, you know, like zooming in on what I'm doing, you know, like all the other pieces that are going on. So it's just
You're going to teach people what those vegetables stand for. So focus on your message. And then if you feel that the visual is giving the wrong message, then start thinking about changing it. If you think you're more premium and your logo is not premium, that's a reason to start making changes. Because what's the chase symbol? Do you know what it is? No one
chase
knows?
symbol?
No. The chase, like Chase Bank. No one
Oh,
really cares, but it's supposed to be like global.
uh-huh.
Like you can teach anyone that this means that. As long as the message comes across, it's fine.
Mhm.
You can want to make it easier for people. So, you know, there's reasonings and there's vibes of it, but it's more important to focus on the message that you're giving over. And when your message is not resonating, that's when visuals need to change. But you first hone in on your message and then change your visuals.
Oh, okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay,
you.
great. Chelsea, you have a question?
Yes. So this has been, so first, let me just say this is like amazing. And I'm just like, my head is kind of spinning like about putting it all together and, you know, all of the different pieces. But my specific question is about, what is your opinion? So, okay, I just switched my website over to a different platform that's easier for me to use. And I thought at that moment about switching from, because I have my business is called, I have a name for my business that's not my name, but I'm not sure that I need that or I want that. What is your opinion about that? When you're like, when I'm the whole business, giving it a name, like, I mean, it's artofhealing.us, which is Art of Healing S, and then I got the .us, versus my name. I also own chelseasmock.com. I don't know, what's your opinion about switching, about that dichotomy?
I have that. I have Purple Pixel and I'm the face of my brand.
Yeah.
I don't think at this point you need to worry about it.
Yeah.
You become really big and you want people should hire you for who you are. And you're creating a personal brand versus just like a business brand. That's really the difference.
Mhm.
I don't think it really matters when you're a smaller business.
Okay.
People know that there's really one person behind it. And the Art of Healing is actually, it gives over a vibe. So I don't think you should worry about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Malka, you have a question?
Hi, thanks. This is so great. Enjoying it so much, especially because you're one of us and we know that you understand the ups and downs, right? You know, so that's why it's fun and we feel comfortable.
Thank you.
So Debbie's told me that I should like just focus on saying energy healing. And there's still like a lot of misunderstanding out there about it. And there like people catch on to like little things here and there. Like there's something called the emotion code that people are starting to hear about it. So I have this conflict between like associating myself with something people already know and which has been like the practical way, and just creating my own identity, which I had already from my fitness, water exercise, and vacation retreats. So what am I saying? I'm trying to say that my logo was helping women feel great again, but it's like very vague, right? But my stuff does overlap. It's quite hard for me to be specific. But I've been just following Debbie and saying energy healing over and over, and I think that has definitely made a difference. I was just wondering what you think about it and how that could apply. Like, is there a need for me to rebrand if I don't know, like sort of vague, type of thing. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
There is a concept out there. It's clarity over clever. So what if I understand Debbie correctly, she's probably telling you that if there's so much misunderstanding out there and people don't know the nuances, it's too hard for people to grab onto like, what do you do? Just
Right.
say it in the most basic way so that people understand it. So they get like, where do I place you in the world? Like everyone has to have contact. So okay, so you do energy healing, then you can go on and say, like what type of energy healing that you do or what you focus on or what it's about, or, have like your elevator pitch could include like a sentence that explains or something. But if it's something that's like, I once met someone who does a type of therapy that I can't even say because I never heard of it. And it was such a complicated name, the way, like what it was called. And I'm like, what is that? I needed to tell me like, I work with complex therapies for that utilizes sensory. I don't know, something that I could place you in my life, because again, I met her, I thought she was great, but like I can't even tell my neighbor. I met someone who does therapy, but like I don't know what type of therapy. It's like, oh, okay, fine. So
it was probably sensory integration or something like that. That's like one of the things that, but yeah, I mean, I find myself answering based on how people ask me, because there are so many ways of answering. It's not a clear cut thing anyway. But I could answer like Chelsea, and I could answer like,
right.
Where's Esty lately? There's a couple of people who haven't been around for a while. Okay.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, great. So did I answer your question though?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to be as clear as possible, and in the and underneath I could explain a little bit more. Something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay, Alana, you have a question.
Thank you. I think she just left.
No, I actually came back. What did you say? You said clarity over clever, right?
Yes.
So I think I just made the biggest mistake. ever this year with my rebrand this year. What was I before? Alana Stern ADHD coaching. Okay, now I'm focusing on Jewish women with ADHD. So I got clever and I call it JDHD. So it's a J and then DHD. But you only get it when you say out loud JDHD.
Where
But
is
it
that?
sounds
That's
like
your
ADHD.
logo, or is
Yeah,
that?
it's jdhdcoaching.com, the JDHD coaching process. It's not on my logo yet. My logo still says Alana Stern ADHD coaching. But I also use my logo with just the icon, often without the text. But this is a whole new, my Facebook page is called JDHD. Yeah. So
Simply, it's not, I would say it's not being clever in a way that's confusing. Clever is in like when you're being confusing. You're not being confusing.
it's not confusing.
I don't think so. And what I could tell you is that it's, like like the process as a brand becomes more and more known, they tend to like drop parts of their logo, or like now you don't have to see the word Nike to know that the check mark is Nike.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what you could do is something similar, is that keep on talking JDHD and say it's ADHD for Jewish people, or, something like that. And then keep on going like that, keep on doing that until you start sensing that people get it and you don't need
Right.
to do that anymore. But if you feel that maybe there is a little bit of confusion, or a little bit like it's like a tad too clever for people, so just explain it and keep on explaining it until you get rid of it.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
you
'cause-
think that it's like so clever that it's like, oh my gosh, like this, whatever, then you can just like revert right back, like to ADHD. But
Yeah.
you could do a little bit of education.
Okay, so the point is the education, because I think like my logo stayed the same actually. So when I was known as that, at that logo, I'm still recognized as that logo, which whatever, we'll talk
Good,
about
that's
later.
good.
But I thought about this because I noticed it could be anything, but I noticed a drop in sales from the time that I rebranded. And it could be that I started charging for a 6-month package. It could be because the war got worse. It could be that it was all around that time. And Debbie suggested she wondered if it was clear enough what JDHD is. Okay, it's very interesting. So the education part is
say
important.
You can definitely keep an eye on it, and anytime you make any changes, people like, they go like, oh my God, okay, like what? Like it's new. So you have to keep reassuring people and educating and saying, no, we're the same. Like that's why when I told Rivka, like, could you like tweak your logo a bit as opposed to taking on a completely new rebrand? Like it's your message that's the most important here, as opposed to your visual. So I would always think to yourself like, oh, I don't like a coach one time told me, like, you're not here to impress other designers. Like, you're here to help your client. And if this client could be a referral or whatever it is, the point is like, is your message getting across? Is there confusion around it? Always tweak things. Unless you have a bigger budget to go all out with it, then I would say do it slowly, do it with education, give it explanation, then people will catch on. And think of it like kids, that's just how kids operate. You can't just tell them like they were planning to go to amusement park, and then you wake up in the morning like, sorry, we're going to the beach. The beach could be really fun.
Yeah.
When you spring a change on people, it messes with their brain.
So can you do it the other way when, suddenly there's a change, and then then you can reassure the kids? Like, I think that's what I have to do, because I've already changed in February. So go backwards and keep reassuring and keep connecting and being very clear about what it's about in the education after the fact.
I would say definitely try it. And you
Yeah.
can say, I've been asked this question, or you may be confused about this. Like,
Yes.
like talk in their language that like, were you wondering where this J came from? Let me give you the background and say the story. People love stories. So just say the story.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions before we talk about the last little tidbit of marketing? Okay, so I'm going to go back to our presentation. Thank you, everyone, for all those insightful questions. I love them. So we have our brand strategy. We have our, I would like to call it the intellectual, the roadmap, the blueprint of our business. And we know what it looks like. We know what it sounds like. Now what? And this is what Debbie has been trying to tell us. What are you going to do with that? Now, there are two things. There's branding and there's marketing. You can, when you brand your business, it's talking about the general, it's the overall, what your brand is about, and marketing is something specific. So you can do both. You can try to create awareness around your brand, that your brand exists, and then you can market a specific service or a specific product. When you brand, you're taking into consideration the whole picture and your overall, what makes you unique, and your overall message, your main message, which is your unique value, your UVP, if you want to get jargony. You want to take on the overall message of your brand. But when you market, you want to get more specific. So you can say, okay, let's say I'm a brand strategist. So I talk about branding in general, and now I'm going to talk about your website and all about your website. I'm going to market creating websites. So if I sell eco-friendly products, I'm going to talk about eco-friendly in general, and then I'm going to say I have one product to clean your floors that are eco-friendly. And you're going to create awareness around that specific product or service. So that's something that you want to think about. Once you create this, you know all about yourself. You want to know about what touch points do you need in order to get your branding and marketing going. So you're going to go back to your competitor analysis and say, okay, your target, your ideal clients, where are these people going to find me? Are the first thing, are they going to go and Google me? What are they going to find? Are they going to find my social media accounts? Are they going to find my website? Doesn't have to be a full website. It could be a landing page. Are they going to look for me as a podcaster? Where do they need to find me? Do I need to be selling them to go give pitch decks if you're more corporate? Like, do I need to be sending out brochures in the mail? Do I need to be sending postcards? What do I need in order to reach my target audience? So the more you know about them, the more you know where to find them, the more you're going to know what you need. And then you're going to develop a marketing campaign. Because if you know that these type of people they love getting mail. Every day they go to their mailbox. That's like part of their routine. That's a behavior that they have. Then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to send them something in the mail. What am I going to send them? Do they like surprises? Do they like gifts? Are you going to send them a gift? Are you going to send them a postcard? Are you going to send them a promo item? The more you know, the more you can understand how to reach them and spend your money more wisely. That's the key. Instead of just like shelling out money for all sorts of things on like Google Ads when your customers are not even they don't really need that, then you're just wasting your money. Invest where your audience is, and then you'll use your money wisely. Whenever you do any marketing or any branding awareness, always track it. So if your goal is to get in 10 new leads and you're going to be sending out 20 emails, take stock of how many leads you are getting in before you start, what your goal is, and then when you're done, see where you're holding. Was it a worthwhile? Did you get 18 leads? Did you get 2 leads? It will give you insight onto where you need to change, what's working, what's not working. And the most important is to always be consistent. So don't change your message. Don't change what's unique about you. You can talk about the things that there could be multiple things that make you unique, but don't start talking about things that are not part of your message. Like, don't get sidetracked. Always be consistent with your message. what you do, the value you bring, the emotions you evoke. Like you're not going to start changing your personality from like being the life of the party to the serious corporate businesswoman. Be consistent, how you look, how you sound, your messages, and that's what's going to give people that trust, that credibility that you need because you're predictable. Now, lastly, if you were to hire a designer, they would need to know, a competent designer is going to want to know all these things. How you are in the market, who your competitors are, who your target audience is, who your perfect customer is, what your personality is, your colors, your fonts, your image styles, and what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're going to hire someone and you want an ad or you want a logo, you need them to understand what you stand for, how you operate, what you sound like, what you're like, so that they could produce those visuals and that messaging consistently, and that it should reflect truly who you are, as opposed to just being like, oh, this looks pretty. It has to look pretty, but it has to reflect who you are as well. And they should always know your goal, because they always need to know how to design that the right things stand out to people. And that is building your brand strategically. These are the branding blocks for every business owner to know in order to bring things to the place that they want it to be. And to go back to your vision of where you would be in a year from now and overhearing the conversation, you can influence how people speak to you by marketing yourself the way that you want to be perceived as. But you'll never be able to change your perception just by telling someone, no, but I'm not that. You need to influence it with your messaging, with your visuals, and understanding what's important to them. Any last questions? Okay. So if you
Hoodie.
have, and wait, I'm just looking.
Hoodie,
Okay, thank you. My pleasure.
I just want to say this was a really excellent. You did such a fantastic job.
Thank you. You know, I want to say that Debbie really like got me, because it was so hard for me to make it just so simple and simple and simple. And I'm happy to see the results of that it is helpful. If anyone wants a copy of this, I started working on a corresponding workbook for you to be able to like fill out as you go along. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete it for today, but if anybody would like the actual presentation to refer back to, just I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and then you could just send me an email, or in Slack, you can send me a message and I will email it to you. Only because
Thank
you
you.
guys are from Wired for Well.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. So I guess we
Okay.
just really, just to go back to, just to clarify for myself, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. If I feel like that healthy living vibe, it was more on the cutesy, I mean, I don't, you don't have it in front of you, but it's, I'm sure you know what, I think you know what it looks like, right? It's more like cutesy and colorful. I picked the pink because I like fuchsia. It makes me feel like I'm wearing it today. Like, it just makes me like feel like alive, and the green is what, like a nature color. I don't know. I don't know if it's, but it's not like, nothing to do with weight loss. It all
Does
has
it
to do with,
resonate with does that vibe, that feeling, that emotion, is that resonate with the people that you're trying to attract? Do you want them to feel that way? Do they feel that way from that?
I don't know.
That's the real question. The real question is not about you, it's about your audience. And it's the ideal person, the perfect person. You want to resonate the most with them because they're the ones that you want their business.
I don't know. I don't even know where to like, how to gauge that. It's not it's kind of like a neutral, it's just vegetables. It's cutesy vegetables, but you know, I don't know.
You can go, you can ask even on Slack, like ask people to give you 5 descriptive words on your logo. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see your logo? And then
Mhm.
see, is that something that you want people to think when they see your logo?
Mhm.
And if it's on this right path, keep it. If it's not, you might start thinking, how can I tweak this little by little, not big changes unless you're ready to undertake that, and say, what could be done here that I can tweak to make it closer to my message. If it's like totally off, then you have a bigger problem. But if it's not so
Right.
off, tweak.
Right. So the person who did my original logo gave me like, let's say a more of a cutesy salad. Whatever, I don't know what the right wording is of how she did it. It was just a salad versus these vegetables. And I'm like, if I would just go there, let's say, whatever, would that be too much of it? That's completely different. It's a completely different logo. And I guess
Again,
all the
it's
color.
gonna go back to your messaging. What message are you trying to give over? What position in the market are you trying to aim for? Are you trying to be that premium? Like when people ask me, like, is my logo good? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything about your brand. Like, you
Right.
have to know what you're aiming to, what you want those people to be talking about you, and think
Mhm.
about that. What is it that you're trying to create? And then connect the dots. That's the most
So more like
important.
for more of someone who's really committed and I guess abundant and resourceful in mind, body, spirit, literally like in all areas of life, not just abundance, then it would be something more like more of a sophisticated, it would be more a little more sophisticated. That's the concept what
Are
you're
they
saying?
seeking credibility? Are they seeking, like, they want to hear from you, like the sureness that they could do it? Like, what are they looking for? Are they looking to, like, oh my gosh, that's so cute? Or they want to come to your coaching sessions and feel like, I got this, the strength of it,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why you need to hone in on what's making them tick, what's bothering them, and what are they craving, what desire, their emotions. Like when you choose your color, you want to create that connection that, like, I believe it's 90% of consumers notice color before they purchase. When they look at a product, they look at the color first. Color has a very strong impact, but it's all in the context as well. So you could have red Valentine, romance, or you could have red evil and like Satan and, murder and blood. So you have to give it context, and that's your messaging. You have to make sure the message is being given over. And like if it's working, like don't play around with it. When
Right.
there's something wrong, that's when you want to start figuring it out. But go back to your message
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay, anything else? And then we'll call it a day. Okay, amazing. I am so happy to have been here with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Slack group. All right, have a good one.